Hey, what's up, guys? It's Dan from Crypto Camacho here. I am back again for another session with Rod Spector, founder of Hypester and creator of Spectro Indicator. What's up, Rod? How you doing?
Hey, good man. Thanks for the invite once again.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited today because so we've had a few sessions before and we've talked, right? We haven't actually shown anything on screen. We haven't shown the Spectro interface. We haven't really shown a whole lot. I have a little bit on previous videos, but today I'm excited because we're going to jump into the interface. We're going to go through kind of how Spectro works. We're going to go through some of the settings, and we're going to go through kind of firsthand what Rod recommends, you know, as the creator of the tool itself, as a professional trader, been trading for a long time. I'm excited to get his insight. I'm really excited to get your insight and to get just the know-how of how you actually use Spectre and how our audience can use it as well, because I think it's an awesome tool. I've been using it for a few days, and with the recent downtrend in the market, I mean, it was very obvious looking at Spectre, you know, when to buy, right? When the market was going to bounce. It was very, very obvious. Cool. Let's get into this. Everybody can see my screen now. I think everybody is all set up. So guys, what I'm showing you right now, I'm going to turn off Spectro just for a second. What I'm showing you right now is just a view of TradingView, right? TradingView.com. It's the platform that I use to trade. I use TradingView. I use Coinigy as well. But this is a view of TradingView on the Polynex exchange, looking at Bitcoin Cash to Tether, right? And I obviously have Spectro M by Hypester enabled here, and I'm going to just turn it on so you can quickly just see, you know, what it adds. I'm looking at the day charts right now. You can see, you know, just with kind of the default settings, what Spectro is showing out of the box. And Rob, this is really where I want to dig in. You know, these colors in the background, what do they mean? These indicators, buy, sell, you know, I know what they mean, but how do they actually work? Like, why are these Christmas trees lighting up? One thing I want to point out to the audience real quick here is the recent downtrend in the market, right? We saw a huge, huge downtrend over the last, you know, several weeks, if not several months. And really in the last, like, let's say 3 weeks, we saw a pretty big downtrend with Bitcoin Cash from like 900-ish all the way down to about 475. And you can see right here at the bottom, right towards the previous base or area of support, Spectro lit up like a Christmas tree right here. You can see all these green indicators right here indicating when you should actually buy, and you can see that the precision was ridiculous. I mean, the precision was out of this world. It was crazy. And if you look at some of these previous bounces as well, very similar, right? Christmas trees are lighting up right at the bottom, right before these big bounces. And it's really impressive. I mean, it's helped me a ton. And so let's get right into it, Rod. I mean, you want to give us a quick, I guess, background on what some of these indicators do, where do you want to start? Like, that's okay. Okay, so Rod, give us a little background on how does this work? Like, what should we be starting with? Like, where do you want to start? Because there's so much I want to cover, but I want you to kind of lead us. Like, where should we be starting as a beginner just using Spectrum?
Okay, so it's hard for me to be unbiased and to speak out of my own strategy, because I mean there are times for learning and there are times for trading, and when it comes down to real money, I don't try anything new.
Sure.
So I'm gonna say it like how I usually do it, and then we can go from there, because I think maybe you guys can get some more context.
Yep.
And because personally, I'm not a guy that I believe fully in technical analysis. I think it's just one small part of the whole.
Sure.
And I think we talked about this several times before, because I think it's the evil, you know, behind most of failure, especially from crypto traders.
Yeah.
It's relying too much on technical indicators, right? And the fact is that all technical indicators, they come from the price action, which is basically the interaction between people buying and selling stuff.
Yeah.
And at this point, let's say that it's 50-50 people and bots, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but at least in the regular financial market, we're talking about 60% bots and 40% people. And but let's just keep it 50-50 just
Sure.
because I don't know. So you got to understand that you know, those things. You have to understand how the bots think and how the people think.
Okay.
So the first thing, it's sentiment. Like, what are people talking about? How are they feeling? Because they're the money. You know, the masses are the money. So if people are like afraid, and you know, and the news are not good, so people are not going to be confident. They're not going to buy. So it means that it's unlikely for the price to move up. People have to buy. So that's the first thing I always do. I try to understand what is the sentiment of this asset that I'm trading.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin, gold, each asset has its own context. If you're trading commodities, you want to know how much is raining, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to understand those external factors. It's the first thing, because that's what settles the ground for you to trade.
Sure.
You know, it's like engaging in a battle where you don't know the field. So that's the first thing that I do. Like, what is going on? I never trade something just because.
Okay.
You know, of course, there are things that I'm always trading. So those things that I'm always reading about. So I know the very least.
Yeah.
Because like we're talking about, I'm working, but I have my trading algorithm going on. And if it blinks and I want to trade, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because unfortunately, my machine learning algorithm for reading social sentiment is not ready, but I'm getting there.
You're working on it. So I do talk about social sentiment quite a bit on this channel. Made several videos on that, and I'm very intrigued by social sentiment in a variety of ways and how you can use that and apply that to data sets to make predictions about markets in a variety of capacities. But specific to the cryptocurrency markets, how do you like look at sentiment in general, and not necessarily with Spectro, because I know that's something you're working on, but like generally speaking, high level, like what do you look at when you talk of sentiment? Are you looking at different websites that are giving you data, Google Trends? Like, what are you talking about?
No, this is specifically about cryptocurrency because I know most of your guys are crypto traders.
Yep.
There are no reliable sources of information in cryptocurrency, and that's one of the major problems of cryptocurrency.
Okay.
It's extremely unpredictable, especially because it's heavily manipulated. Like a few players possess a lot of Bitcoins.
Yeah.
And, you know, like some people think, oh, $200 billion, so much money. But, you know, if you think institutional-wise, it's not so much. So, you know, now that big players are coming, more and more the behavior is going to change. Like, that's what I'm saying. You have to understand the context. If you trade Bitcoin in 2017, it's completely different from 2018.
Totally.
And 2018 has been a crushing year for beginners.
Yeah.
Because everybody comes in with their cousins telling them that they won a card in 1 month with whatever.
Yep.
And then the first month they trade, they lose their house.
Yep.
So it's conflicting because they don't understand the context.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the first thing, you're going to die very early.
Yes.
So, and the social sentiment is just an attempt of trying to get it. So what I do in crypto, which is something that I've not really, you know, like I don't like to trade so much now because of this.
Sure. Because,
see,
yeah.
I can't, like I said, when it comes down to actually making money, I play safe.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go exactly the way I want, I just don't do it.
Yeah.
You know? If I'm testing something, okay.
Sure.
But that's not like really trading. It's testing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So that's the problem with crypto. Like when it comes down to stocks or commodities, there are things that you know that they're right.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's corruption and some numbers can be wrong, but in general, like all the companies, they have open capital, they have to share their, you know, fundamentals. It's the law.
Yeah.
And you can see on TradingView too. And
makes sense.
Crypto doesn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And all we know that 95% of crypto market, it's smoke.
Yeah.
And if they really had to show their numbers, like how many employees do you have? What's your cost? Like if the guy made like $2 million in an ICO and he has his himself and his wife and his cousin.
Yep.
You know, and you know, I'm pretty sure that's probably like 50% of the market. You know, but you can tell because they make like a nice website and they have like a couple guys that work from India. Like they work 2 hours a month for them, and then they put him on the team.
Yep.
It's completely unreliable. Like everything is assumption.
No, right? It is. I mean, one thing that I use and talk about in the past is like using marketing data to actually predict or understand the sentiment in the market. So looking at like search trends with Google Trends, looking at social sentiment data that's coming off of blogs, off of Twitter, off of different social networks, and understanding what the sentiment is for a particular, like I used to do this for ICOs. I would look at a group of ICOs and I would actually then scrape out the social sentiment data from a variety of sites and then actually calculate what the positive versus negative sentiment is across those ICOs to look at, okay, what's the volume, what's the positive and negative sentiments across these ICOs? Because if there's a high level of positive sentiment, likely that ICO is going to do well because the whole market is based on hype and speculation.
Yeah.
And if
yeah.
and so
You're right.
and so I tend to try to do the same thing for cryptocurrencies, but it's a lot more difficult for established coins, that the sentiment's not quite as clear, I guess. And
because in the ICOs, you kind of measure the traffic and you kind of know
exactly.
the conversion, so you know how much it's going to sell.
Exactly.
And also, if you analyze like the past few ICOs and you know how much people bought and how much they sold,
exactly.
you kind of know, I should sell for this much.
Exactly.
But when it comes down to analyzing their real value, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Which is something that Warren Buffett's crazy about. Like real value, creating.
Yeah.
You can't tell at all.
Yeah.
Like, I think the best example is Bitcoin for me. Like, for me, it's still a mystery how they made like billions of dollars last year and they still can do line mining network.
I know.
I've seen people doing a lot more with a lot less, and that was like for me. I liked the proposal of blockchain because I don't trust the government.
Sure.
For so many reasons, and it would solve it, but the problem is like people are failing to deliver. And that, for me as an investor myself, I don't invest in long term in blockchain right now until like things get better.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
I have the feeling that it's on the verge or either like a bounce. I don't mind if I lose 20-30%, like not lose, not win,
Sure.
But then I just get safely in the reversal. Then I get in now and it dumps in the next day and I lose like 20% just because I was greedy.
Oh, hey, Rod, 1 second here. I got a party coming in. But give me 1 sec. Hey guys. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We'll just cut it. We'll cut this, but 1 sec here. Let me just drink your drink your Red Bull there, or get your mushroom tea. That's interesting though. That's one of the reasons why. Well, I'll tell you in a minute when we're back on here. Sorry, sorry, it's all good now. I'm working somewhere else, and so some people just walked in. But I usually have this room to myself, and they were just showing it to somebody. Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
What were you even saying now? We'll have to cut this, but
totally. That they failed to deliver.
Oh, on Bitcoin. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I would agree with you on that, Rod. That's one of the reasons why I'm looking at the platforms always versus tokens that are built off of like Ethereum as an example, because the platforms themselves, which we have Ethereum, we have Bitcoin, we have EOS, we have Bitcoin Cash, we have Stellar. There's a couple cryptocurrencies that are actual platforms, and they're trying to win out, right? And trying to beat out what is the standard or default cryptocurrency, which is why I'm interested in Bitcoin Cash and others, right? Because I think ultimately one of these platforms is going to emerge as the leader and kind of as the default, the one that can scale, the one that can do what the vision is, proposing that it can do by Satoshi. And so that's kind of what I always look at. But okay, so back to Spectro. I mean, so starting off with sentiment. Yeah, go ahead.
Just one thing that I think it's important, because you see, it's something that everybody forgets. Like when we start to, I remember the first time I was trying to understand the blockchain. It took me just so many videos and a couple courses to really understand, how. And I'm a computer engineer.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And it took me a while to understand. And you're saying, this is a token, this is a platform for you. This is obvious.
Sure.
Right? But you see, it required research
to
understand how the market and the technology works, so you can make educated guess.
Yep.
Guesses. So if you're trading commodities, on the other hand, you have to understand the crops.
Yeah.
The
exactly.
amount of the sun, so that it means that they have more grass, therefore their cow are gonna need less hay.
Yep.
So because you understand how this other structure works. So what you have to pay attention is, first, you never trade just one market.
Sure.
Yep. Why? Because it's just like, you're putting your life in just all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So you have to understand this structure. Not like what took you to understand how things work and understand if it's good or bad. Like you understand that, now there are emerging companies. So it to research to see what are the emerging companies, who's competing with the leader, is the leader delivering. It requires some time for you to get up to date. So that's like the basics. If people really understand what's the difference between a token and a coin and what's an ICO, why are even they buying stuff?
No, I fully agree. And actually, I just made a video yesterday about the different types of cryptocurrencies, because I don't think most people realize there's literally like 6 or 7 categories of cryptocurrencies. There's platforms, there's cryptocurrency, there's natural asset tokens, there's utility tokens, there's I don't know, there's a whole range, and I give a video on that. But I think that's to your earlier point, just understanding the broad kind of sentiment of the market, and even understanding what the market is. Like, we understand commodities, like we know what wheat is, we know what corn is, we know what gold and silver are. Most people don't even know what cryptocurrencies fundamentally are, and you're a computer engineer, and so I think it's really important to set kind of your foundation again by just learning what the market even is and what the dynamics of the actual assets that you're trading, like what those dynamics of those assets are, so that you can look at a chart and feel comfortable that, okay, the asset that I'm actually trading, in this case I'm showing Bitcoin Cash, but you know that in and of itself may have a leg up on another token, like I don't know what token you want to give, like Verge, or I don't know, whatever token you want to give. I mean, with no utility, right? Not saying Verge doesn't have utility, it may, but just as an example. But okay, cool.
Like people, the problem about technical analysis, it's too nice. I'm a gamer, I said that before, and I just love technical analysis. It's just so interesting. It makes people so smart. People, look what I'm doing. They think I'm so clever just because of, all those things on my screen. They think I'm rich instantly. If you say I work with the financial markets, people already love you. So I understand it's sexy. But you have to understand. That's the first thing you have to do. Like, let's forget all the technical analysis and look at this chart. We know more or less what's going on the news. So forget about the signals and try to think about the news. What was happening? What was that surge? What was that rise, that fall? If you're into, you kind of know, that was when they announced the ETF.
Exactly.
That's when they said the ETFs would be delayed. That's when they said that China would ban this. So you start to see that there are things bigger than just the other side.
Yep. No, I mean, to your point, right when they announced the ETF that the SEC was going to delay, what basically Rod's talking about is when the SEC, they decided to delay the decision whether or not to approve or disapprove an ETF that was going to basically allow or enable institutional investors to enter the market through an ETF play. They delayed that from August to September, and you can see literally right here in July that started that downtrend bearish market. So very good insight or point there.
So what I'm saying is this: if we look, it was a big downtrend, and then maybe reversal started happening, which was the ETF announcement. And then there was the ETF. We're maybe not doing it anymore, and we don't know when we're gonna do it. And the downtrend where we are right now. But the big but is like, okay, so what is technical analysis for? Because I feel like the biggest problem about people that just try to learn technical analysis and figure out how to do a bot that does things automatically is that they don't try to think. They just, they want a monkey business. Man, that is not trading, and I think I dare to say that it's very unlikely for you to succeed in the long term.
Agree.
But why I'm saying that is this: understand what technical analysis is for, because you're a guy that you're right there in front of the computer. Can you do me a favor? Can you put an indicator that's called GMMA? Indicators.
Whoops, let me move this out of the way.
Yeah.
What is it called? Sorry.
GMMA. Yeah, do the first one and see how it looks like. Okay, that's good enough. So,
take off.
I'm not gonna go really into who Guppy is and stuff, but he's a very cool guy. He runs a hedge fund in Singapore, and he invented this indicator. And pretty much just a bunch of moving averages. So, what I like to see in this, and what I'm trying to show you, is that you have to understand the mechanics. when you trade, let me tell you something. You're not trading, with God. You're trading against other people.
Yes.
It's not like the market. It's a omnipotent, invisible force. No, it's people. A bunch of people and a bunch of bots.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that each person, has their own set of rules, behavior. Let's say bots, day traders, swing traders, position traders, and investors. Those are the 5 main guys. Bots are the fastest.
Okay. Yeah.
They're reading and making decisions in real time. They don't think, they don't run, they don't do technical analysis, like they don't cross-reference, they buy and sell.
Sure.
Those are the fastest. So you see all those lines?
Yep.
Probably the green one that's closest to the price would be equivalent to the bot's behavior.
Okay.
They're the ones who react fastest to the price.
Okay.
Right? The second guys would be the day traders, the guys that are trying to, get in every single movement. So they're like reading Twitter, all kinds of damn things,
Yep.
So those are the second guys that will react. They will be the first guys who will read the news.
Okay.
Like, let's say I work for a Goldman, whatever, so I will read this news, I will do my technical analysis, and I'm going to cross-reference, blah, 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 do my research.
Yep.
And then, if I have enough autonomy in the institution that I work for, or if I'm a day trader, I'm going to buy or sell. So I'm the second guy to react.
Yep.
It's still not big money. Those guys don't have a lot of power to move the market. But those guys are going to, when they start moving, you're going to see uncertainty on the market. So the candles, they're going to be smaller and the wicks are going to be bigger.
Got it. Yep.
So you see that they're going to start reducing slowly. Why? Because the day traders are the fastest one. But then the big institutional money that comes after is like the analysts calling their bosses and say, hey, I have a very good analysis. Do you agree? Do you read, can I buy it?
Yeah.
And then bigger money starts to flow in. And then there's the other guys, which are the red guys. Those guys are the guys who invest in value, or the holders, the guys who usually lose a lot of money. They're the last ones to react. It's the guy who has the 5 to 9 job or 9 to 5 job, and he only reads the news when he gets home after the dump.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's the last one to react. He's the guy who sells in the bottom, like, oh my God, what happened? I'm going to sell it. Then there's the other guys who believe, the holders, whatever you call that, insanity.
Sure.
So, you just buy it because you believe in that thing, and you're not trying to mitigate risk. So those guys are like the last one to move. Of course.
The religious folks that just
talk about here. I just want to keep it technical.
Sure.
So, what do you want to see? It's when their behaviors converge.
Okay.
Because when they converge, it means that they're starting to agree on something. When everybody agrees on something, that something happens faster.
Do you mean like right here, when they're converging?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see that after the compression, there's a big movement.
Either up or down. I mean, you could see this.
Look at the other compression. It's right there on your left.
Oh, right up here. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying? All we're talking about here, it's barely technical. These indicators only EMAs. But the facts that I'm thinking on the players and how the market works, you see?
Yeah. No, it's interesting because you could clearly see when it compresses, the indicators are crossing over and they're compressing. There's big movements, big down, big up, big down, big down.
Yeah, like those last two ones, the big ones before, I don't think there's so much compress. It was more like of a pump and dump. So You see there wasn't much of agreement. So what that means, it means that probably the traders and the institutions, they decided to dump. And then the red lines, the average guys and the big investors, well, they're the guys like picking up late and it's like, okay, sell it.
Sure.
So what I'm trying to show you how, if you don't understand the context and who you're dealing with, the technical analysis doesn't mean much.
Yeah, no, good. That's a really good point.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, people think you just follow a bunch of flights and you're gonna make money. Like,
but you have to have the context behind it. I mean, I like that because I would.
You want to be at least.
Yeah.
Like, if you want automation, it's another type of thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's impossible to make money, but if you don't understand the trading mechanics, how can you expect to code a behavior that's gonna work? You think you're gonna be the first guy who's gonna mix RSI with Bollinger Bands, and now you're suddenly making money?
Yeah, no, it's been there, done that. Yeah.
Second,
yeah.
There are guys with billions of dollars and they haven't, think about like Bollinger Band RSI.
Yeah. You would think, no, this is good though. So this is the GMMA indicator. I like this. I've never actually used this before myself. So
yeah, it's very simple. I like it because of the how simple it is, and it gives you so much insight.
Yeah. So how does this compare to just straight Bollinger Bands, right? Because Bollinger Bands, when they compress, they're similar, right? But not quite as clear cut maybe as this. But
it's just, you see, that's another thing. People, when they're doing technical analysis, they don't even understand like what the indicators actually do.
Sure.
So this is a moving average, right? Those are several exponential moving averages. I think 12.
Sure.
Or I think 12. Yeah. You can see the numbers after. Oh, it's here. 3, 5, 8, 10, 12, 15, 30, 35, 40. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. Bollinger Bands. The basis, it's a moving average, but the Bollinger Bands are actually standard deviation.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So they multiply the price plus the standard deviation, and that generates the Bollinger Bands. What does standard deviation has to do with the market? What behavior does that represent?
I mean, divergence of some sort.
You don't understand what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Standard deviation, at least in math and in physics and stuff, it's used to margin of error.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to apply this concept to the market. That's Bollinger Bands. If you understand this correlation, just like I showed you in the goofy ones, you can. That's why 90% of the price action happens in between the Bollinger Bands.
Mm-hmm.
In the standard deviation, the acceptable error margin. What happens outside, that's the one we want. Because it's outside of the normal behavior of the market, and everything that's outside of everything normal tends to correct.
Yes. No, that's a really good insight. Say that one more time. I just want to make sure people get that out there. I mean, that's a really good insight.
I think you want to get it. I know you do.
No, it's a really good insight.
What exactly?
No, I mean, so about the Bollinger Band. So I think you mentioned. So you said.
Just if I can have a sip of Red Bull.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll try to break it down, but you did it better, I think. But when Bollinger Bands, like when you really want to look for the abnormal behavior outside of the norm, outside of the normal flow of that indicator or the normal flow of the market. That's kind of right.
You have to understand the indicator so you know what you're looking for.
Right. So that you can actually see and notice when that happens, when the behavior is abnormal, to know when you should either get in or get out, because there's something going on when it's abnormal behavior, right? And that's usually an opportunity, right?
Another thing that people do, it's I call paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
Definitely. 124 indicators.
Yeah.
For instance, everybody loves MACD. Convergence, divergence, very fancy name.
Yep.
It's just moving averages, man.
Yeah.
Just 2 moving averages.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And then you look at their graph. They have like 15 moving averages, 4 MACDs with different settings. It's the same thing.
And it's meaning,
but I like the histogram. But man, it's just see how far they are.
Yeah.
Why do you need more information?
Yeah.
They don't think like machines. More information requires more processing power.
Totally.
It takes more time, and there are more room for errors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to trade like a machine.
Mm-hmm.
This is no human's game.
Yeah.
So all I'm trying to say is just, you see, I create this like very easy to use indicator, but yet if you don't understand the market, it's just like trying to like buy a car that doesn't come with a manual and it's all written in Russian.
Yeah.
You don't even know how to, shift it.
You have to understand the landscape you're playing in. You have to understand the players in the landscape. You have to understand the general rules of the game. Itself.
Here's the thing, man. The problem about trading is that it's just not a game. People are putting money into it, which means that it's either like someone's livelihood.
Yeah.
Or for someone else's money. You're dealing, managing funds, and this is serious business. When it comes down to money, I wish that everybody approached the market with a healthy mindset, as like, okay, I have $1,000 that I have no idea what to do. Instead of buying stuff on Amazon, I'm gonna trade.
Yeah,
that's healthy.
Yeah,
really don't care if you lose that money, so you have no pressure.
Yeah,
but that's not even a small portion of the market. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, try to get people to understand how serious this is.
Yeah.
Don't come with an expectation that you're gonna figure it out. Like,
yeah.
It took me like 6 months to figure out crypto.
Yeah.
There are like hundreds of markets out there.
Yeah, no, it takes time. I mean, look at the charts and just study the charts, because I agree. For the first even 6 months, even year of me just looking at charts, and I'm relatively new to the space myself in terms of like technical analysis, trading, and it took a while to understand like what was even happening. And that's, I think, one of the biggest flaws as newbies make, or new people make, is that they don't spend enough time just watching what's going on. I mean, anything you learn, I mean, whether it's playing a musical instrument or learning to do something new, like, you have to spend time in that environment. Like, you have to, otherwise you just won't be able to do it. And so it's the same thing with trading. I mean,
the problem that money really clouds people.
Oh yeah.
And that's why trading is so complicated.
Yeah.
Because we live in a I'm not going to be like all socialist, but we live in a capitalist time.
Sure.
Where people like success, the best measure to success is like how much you make.
Sure.
So I understand like how this can be appealing to most of people, but that's the danger.
Yeah.
And that's also how the industry profit.
Yeah.
Because we know that 90% of people are going to lose money.
That's true.
They're the money who are making the traders and the institutions and the brokers rich.
They're the ones who are giving the money. Basically, yeah, they're giving them the money. I mean, you're right. Absolutely
because,
right.
Like I said, we're trading against people. If those pro players are never losing money, how they're making money?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Understand that when you're starting, like when you're trading as a retail trader, man, you're like this calm of the system. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not trying to be an ass, but like, in crypto it works differently. But you see, in stocks and other things, the game is just not even, because the institutional banks, they can buy directly from the exchange, which is the NASDAQ.
Yep.
As a retail trader, you have to buy through a broker that buys from NASDAQ, and you have to pay fees for the broker. So the game's already that's one. The banks doesn't.
Yeah.
Banks, they are allowed to have terminals directly linked to the NASDAQ server, so they can do like high frequency trading. But see,
that's one thing that attracts me to crypto, and probably others. Even though it is the wild, wild west, and you could lose more, it's more unregulated. You almost kind of make your own destiny in a way, because.
Yes.
But it's dangerous. Yes. It's dangerous, though.
Why do you pay car insurance?
For protection.
If someone steals your Bitcoin, who are you gonna cry to?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody. But that's part of the allure of cryptocurrency, is that, I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but they have an advantage. There are folks that have the advantage.
Reward.
Yeah.
You can run from this.
Yeah.
You can make a lot of money in a market. It's an uncertain market.
And you could lose a lot as well. So.
It's the general rule.
Yeah.
If you want to make big money, you're not going to make big money buying some house in the United States.
No.
It's like the established market. You're going to make big money if you buy a lot of houses in Venezuela after the civil war.
In 10 years, yeah.
In 10 years, you might be millionaire. Or in 10 years, the country went in flames. So you have to understand that. You don't think you're the smart one. Like you're the guy who figured out the new.
No, it's important. That's important to know, because I mean, I even remember earlier on, like when I was trading, and I remember I would get, and this was kind of during the bull run, right? And so I'd get like a series of good trades, and things would be going up, and I'd be making money, and get another good trade, and get another good trade. And it actually went to my head, and I was like, oh wow, this is great. I'm starting to be able to predict. I'm starting to be able to, make all these calls. And then all of a sudden, boom, and it hits you, and you're like, wow, okay. And part of it's luck, obviously. Part of it's getting more familiar with the market, but that's kind of the point, is right. You don't let that go to your head. I mean, there are other people that know this game way, way, way better than you do, right? Even if you're starting to learn and you do know something, there's
I'm nothing in this market.
Yeah.
Like, but also you have to understand this to understand how you play. Like, I'm not the shark, but I'm not, I'm like that little fish that eats from the shark.
Yeah.
That's what I am. Unfortunately, I don't have like a couple $1 billion to fool around.
That's right.
Because then you do some really crazy moves on Bitcoin, but
not yet. But you just wait and see how Spectro does, because Spectro is pretty good. And so let's get back into Spectro a little bit. I do like this indicator. Sorry.
Let's go to the indicator. So now that we understand the markets and we understand the blah, 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 let's get down to what the indicator really means. So can you turn it on?
Yep, let's turn it on.
Look at the beautiful pump that's going on right now.
I know. You see this? And I want to point one thing out really quickly, because I literally made a video maybe 3, 4, 5 days ago. And I actually have to say that I did somewhat predict this on the video. For those of you that are watching, it's called Blood in the Streets, and I basically called this out just the other day. So hopefully you've been following. If you have, you probably would have been up at least 10 to 15, 20%. So anyway, sorry, go on. But I'm proud of myself for that one.
Yeah, that's a good one going on right now.
Yeah.
I wanna trade right now. Like, I see this stuff.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Like, money.
It's going. It's running up. But Spectro predicted this as well. I mean, you could see if you were to layer in your buys. I mean, again, I talk about base trading, and here was the last base of support. If you layered your buys in below that level of support, you could even have followed the indicators, layered your buys in with the indicators, and you would be back up, already. So again, we'll get into more of that, but I just want to make people aware that this is a real opportunity.
I was just checking my bot to make sure I didn't.
Okay. This is a real opportunity to make money. I mean, we're up $100 in like 3 days, 2 days. So that's like 22%, something like that. So, but anyway, okay, get into the Spectro piece.
So let's start with the basics. Like, I think that the biggest things we can see is like the background. Like, we have the red and the green background, and we have an orange background. So I know that you're using the Spectre GA trend analyzer. So this background pretty much Spectro reads the trend for you. Like, we're talking about like, what's happening on the news and this and that. Well, if you look at the background and you see this huge red area, you know that things haven't been the best lately.
Yep.
So that gives you, is it a bearish market or a bullish market? Why do you need to know that? So observe that up movements during bearish markets, they're far smaller.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they want to trade reversal. It's kind of bad, because if you want to just trade the reversal, you know that's going to be a short and dangerous move. And there are people that know, I know that this is going to be the very bottom of the downtrend, and from now it's just up. That's just insanity. So considering that you're actually trading the reversal properly and stuff, but okay, that's the first thing you need to know. Like, if you look at the red areas, if you look at the shorts, they're much wider.
Yep.
And you see that the sales are often a lot better and more efficient during the bearish area. So what it means that if you're in a bearish zone, you might want to short. You don't want to go long.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's one thing I haven't actually used, but you can see on the indicators like sell, and you can see a really good short opportunity. Again, right here, another sell, and they only really seem to pop up at really, pretty confident times, which I haven't actually used yet, but it's good to notice that.
Like, here's the thing, like, probably what a beginner would say, like, but you're missing a lot of trades, a lot of tops and bottoms, but you see, like, that's a misjudgment.
Okay.
Like, when you're trading a graph that already happened, it's very easy to identify the full trades.
Of course.
And that's not the reality.
Yeah.
When a person, like, it's hard because I can't click, but there's like if you see like this whole down movement, this whole downtrend that's going on right now, you can see there are a few.
You want me to go all the way over?
Yeah, there are a few gaps, like a few dumps, big dumps that happen that could have been profitable. Yeah, that one that you could have bought the bounce.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, it's hard to predict. That's what I'm saying. You're trading against the trend, and like I'm saying, I am conservative. I have a certain type of rules. Yeah. And if they just don't match, I don't trade.
No, that's fair. That's fair enough, and that's fine. That's good to point out, actually, because I think as a new person trading, I think you do get wrapped up in these. I remember literally looking at 5, 10, 15-minute charts, hour charts, and it took me and I would zoom so far in. You know, I'd be looking like only at these very close. And if I was coming to Spectra, I'd be like, well, why aren't there indicators right here? What's going on? And it completely misses the point of you're measuring things, like you're using Spectra to measure things in a way that you feel confident enough to put these indicators automatically on the board. And if you don't feel that way, don't trade, right? And that's really, really important, because you know when these indicators are coming up, there's substance behind it, and it should give you more confidence to trade, right? Because otherwise you'd be saying buy, sell every single time, and it would really mean nothing. So
exactly. I don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, like, why would you? I'm telling you, like, I wouldn't buy most of those buys in the red area. Why would you?
Yeah.
And if you're like, oh, it's not working.
Yeah.
Of course it's not working. It's like you're trying to, I don't know, get out in a rainy day, and it's like, I'm getting wet.
Yeah.
God damn it. You know,
one way I use the indicator today is like I'll look at, you know, because I know the background is red here, right? And we've been in a bearish trend. I know we're in a bearish trend, and I know likely things are going to go down because of what Spectro is telling me. So now if I'm trading, and let's just say I'm trading this right here, you know, and it's going down, and all of a sudden I see a green, I'm like, oh, maybe we're going to turn up. And I go, oh, okay, great. It's going up. And I'm like, oh, wow, there's going to be a big run up, a huge run up, right? And I'm all the way right here. And I'm like, there's going to be a run up. I have to catch myself and I have to say, wait, we're still in a bearish market. Are we flipping? Are we going into a bullish market? Not necessarily. And when you look back out, we went way further down.
Let's exploit the exception.
Yeah.
Because there were a couple very good buys that happened during the red area.
Okay, sure.
But again, that's why the other indicators are for.
Sure.
Okay, so as you can see right where we are, there's a huge buy to your left. Yeah, there's one.
Yep.
That was a huge trade. I don't even know how much. Can you measure that?
Yeah.
It was a good profit, man.
I mean, all the way, I'll just measure it from right here. I think it went lower, but it's like 200 and over 200%.
Okay, so let's say just half of that would be 100% trade.
Yeah.
So how would we catch that trade? Because it happened during a downtrend. So
that's true.
Because other things happened that haven't happened before. You see the clouds and also the triangles, which is the X confirmations. So after that starts to happen, what that tells me is that, okay, first we have to understand what each thing is. So the arrows, they mean that several indicators are agreeing that something is oversold.
So
it's out of the healthy channel.
Okay, right? So you're talking about these green arrows right here?
Yes, those.
Okay, so all of these are the aggregation of a series of indicators agreeing on a trend.
So right now you have two arrows, so that means you're using the moderate mode, so it means that it's just 15 indicators and not 20.
Okay.
But what this indicator does, what this algorithm does. So like most of people, they want to check their RSI, their blah 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 blah. Spectro was made to make trading faster and easier, so you don't need a lot of indicators, you don't need a complicated analysis. You have everything in one place.
Yep. Okay.
So this arrow literally is telling you, hey, I checked 15 indicators, and right now they're all saying oversold.
Okay. Yep.
Including RSI, Bollinger Bands, GMI, OPV. You know, of course, every single indicator has their own parameter and their own weight on my formula.
Yep.
But pretty much that's what it's doing. It's checking all those indicators and reading them for you.
Real quick question. Are they equally weighted? Or
no.
Okay, they're weighted differently. Is there
that's what the machine learning does.
Okay. Oh, so the machine learning is doing the weighting over time based on performance. Okay, that's cool. That makes a lot of sense.
So it means that the more time I have Spectro, the better it's gonna get.
Yeah. Yep. So
if it gets really good, I'm gonna stop selling it and
you'll be in a box somewhere just printing money off.
Yeah. Honestly, right now, what I'm having most difficulty with automation, it's not the strategy, but it's the execution and the connectivity, to be reliable. And that's the main reason I've been still trading manually.
Gotcha.
But that's what I'm investing a lot of money to figure out.
Gotcha. Okay. So
Going back to the algorithm.
So real quick on these indicators, so these are a measure of a variety of indicators, 15, 20, depending on the level you're at, and I'm going to show that in just one second, but it's the convergence or the aggregation of those indicators all in agreement that a certain trend is going to happen. And in this case, it's an uptrend, okay? And real quick, just to show, if you wanted to change the mode from conservative, you mentioned something, Roderick, that it's 2 arrows right now, and so it's conservative, or it's moderate. Yeah. How would you change that? Would that be...
Just one thing. You have to update your... We have the brand new one, man.
Okay.
You missed the best update.
Okay. I have not updated. I apologize. That was like yesterday, so I haven't updated. Yeah. But next video we could update.
It's better now because it has the pivot levels, and those are really good.
Okay.
So just remove it. It's really quick. It's good that people actually see how you do it.
Oh, whoops, wrong one. We're in Trend Analyzer, right?
No, you just have to close this. You have to remove your...
Oh, to update. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, just remove you have to remove quick text, yeah.
Real quick, so this is me. I'm going to update Spectro right now. So if you guys already do have Spectro, you can follow this if you want to update it. Rod's putting out updates on Spectro really, really often. So you want to pay attention to this part if you have it. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just click on indicators.
Indicators, yep.
In white only. No. Oh, yeah, that works too.
Okay.
And
or you could go to... I could go to invite only, right?
Yeah, there you go. Just click it.
Yeah, the invite only, that's where your Spectro indicator shows up.
Yeah.
And...
there you go.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, awesome. Yes, I have not... I'm glad you brought that up, actually.
Yeah. So now, as you can see, Spectro also plots the pivot levels, and we're going to go through that after. It's just since it's based on the latest data.
Okay.
So it's a lot of context in that trade. So let's go to settings, and we can talk about what we were talking before. So can you see X confirmations there?
Yep, X confirmations are these green arrows, right?
X confirmations, because it was just so many confirmations that we said, like, oh, it's X confirmations, you know?
Yep. Okay, so I just turned it off here, and what you were saying before is I was using moderate, which is showing 2 arrows, but you could change X confirmations to aggressive, conservative, or even off. When I do aggressive, can you explain the difference between moderate, aggressive, and...
Less indicators. So let's say aggressive, you only check RSI, moderate, you check RSI and stochastics, and conservative, you check RSI, stochastic, and OBV.
Got it. Perfect. Okay, so there's a gauge there. You could kind of gauge how you want to play it.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Depending on... Spectro also it's meant to work on any asset in any type of trading style.
Yep.
So if you're scalping, sometimes you might want to be more aggressive, you know, to get the real tops. So it's like you have to understand what you need. That's what I'm saying. You have to think so you can...
Yeah, that makes sense.
When you understand what the indicator does, you can put it on context, and that's what I was discussing today with the group. Like, hey guys, stop asking for the perfect settings.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
You have to read whatever you're trading in and then adjust.
No, it's...
Because also, a setting that works today might not happen, probably will never work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because let's say you have a lot of volatility. If you have a lot of volatility, you want to run on a very aggressive mode because things are moving really fast and you need to get in fast.
Yeah.
Because when things are volatile, the triggers are very clean. They're clean cuts.
Yeah.
So you need speed.
Yeah.
But when the market's kind of... Then you don't want aggressivity because sometimes you're going to be buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. So a conservative one, it's going to take longer to get in. Yeah. But then it's going to hold for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That's that's
right? So that's pretty much the X confirmation. So back to the let's turn on the trend analyzer because remember that was a red area.
Yep.
So I had it was a red area, but the difference of this latest buy was the fact that the X confirmations was ringing, so it wasn't like any other buy. It's coming after a oversold signal.
Yes.
Okay. So in theory, it could be a stronger buy, and as you can see, the theory held. So the other thing we must analyze, it's the clouds. So you can see those peaks of green and stuff. So that's a proprietary algorithm that we found by mistake, actually. That it also tells you when the movement starts to be unhealthy.
Okay.
And
explain it a little bit. Yeah, explain a little bit.
It's more complicated, so it's hard to discuss, but pretty much like it predicts where the price should be. So let's go left. Okay, so you see this now let's say we bought in and we want to sell out and we want to know what the top is.
Okay.
So there are two ways that you can do that. First, how much money did you buy? If it's a lot of money, what is a lot? Something that the volume, the liquidity matters to you.
Yeah.
So if you bought, I don't know, 200 grand, 300 grand, 500 grand, maybe $1 million, you need time to distribute. So if you're under like 50 grand, probably you don't. Like 50 grand goes really easily on major exchanges.
Sure.
So I think 50 grand is probably the majority of people. Why I'm saying that? Because another thing that people have to understand is that the more money you have, you stop thinking like in a point and in a period.
Okay.
You don't buy, you accumulate, you don't sell, you distribute.
Ah, yes. That's a good point.
So, you can just like buy $1 million. The price is going to go, you're going to buy it at a horrible price.
Yeah.
And you can just dump too.
Yeah.
Or you can, but you're gonna mess up your average final price.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep things simple. I'm not gonna talk about accumulation and distribution in bigger, money orders because I just think it's out of context. But let's keep it simple.
Yeah.
So I'm conservative. I bought in. We're talking about a 200% move.
Sure.
Man, the first slide that came after 30-40% profit, I would sell. I don't even that's me.
Sure.
Like if I'm up 40%, I'm like, what?
That's because you trade the stock market, but in crypto.
Because I do research.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
analyze in the planet how many investments give you 40% a day.
None. I mean, very few. I mean, yeah.
Like if you're not happy with 40% profit, you have something really wrong with yourself.
Yeah.
Like your greed is definitely like messing you up.
Yeah, I agree. And people are greedy in crypto, so take that for what it's worth. There are big movements, but I mean, I would agree. I mean,
don't take me as a saint, right? Because I will sell it at the very first red triangle, and I'm gonna watch it go all the way up, and I'm gonna be screaming and punching things, and I'm gonna be pissed, But I would deal with it with 40% in my pocket.
Sure, yeah. So real quick though, go back to these clouds here. Like, what's the easiest way to explain?
Yeah. So let me explain you. It's just in the short movement, it's easier to understand.
Yeah.
But
I could go to
the first time that the red appeared after the up. To the right.
Let me zoom out.
Yeah, right there. This big move.
Yep.
The red clouds, right there. All right. So I want you to get like an arrow or a line.
Yep.
Whatever. Yeah, and click on the very beginning of the cloud.
Like right here?
Yeah. And drag until the price. Drag right. No, right. In a straight line. Yeah. Stop there.
Okay.
There you go. Now I want you to drag another line in the next peak.
Up here?
The one that has the yellow. No.
Oh, right here.
The bottom.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's inverted. Exactly.
Okay.
Good. Now there's another one on top. You see?
Yeah.
The same thing. There you go. Now do the same thing with the green ones before the up.
Down here?
Yeah, you have the Fibonacci levels, but just to make a point.
Yeah.
Okay, so stop there. So if you pay attention, look how many bars before the clouds predicted the price should go to that price range.
Before?
Before.
I mean, wait, sorry, say that again. Before the clouds, say that one more time?
Look, when the cloud first appeared, the green cloud, what it tells you that in the future, the price should go back to that level.
Gotcha.
Look at the precision.
And then it... Oh, so are you saying... I kind of get what you're saying. So wait, just to make sure I understand this right. So you're saying this kind of... let me get a...
It told you like several bars before that the price should go...
Right. So this is predicting, these clouds are predicting that in this number of bars, the price is going to go up back to where it was, where the top of the cloud is. Is that?
The amount of bars because it's not related to time. It's related to price.
Okay.
So it means that the price sometime in the future should go back in the, at this price.
Got it. Okay.
Like like when you see those clouds, it pretty much tells you like everything from this point on, it's unhealthy.
Gotcha.
Should correct.
That makes sense. Okay, so this is predicting that the price would rise back to where the clouds initially started.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say you have a different strategy. You don't want to wait for the up. Let's say you want to buy in the first green. No, go to the.
Sorry, I wanted to look at the current price.
Let's keep studying this trade. So another like the up and downs, they're the strong confirmations.
Yeah.
They don't pick the best bottoms and and stuff, especially because you're in moderate mode, so it's slightly slower. But that's not the point.
Okay.
Let's say I could do like another strategy would be the first yellow part. No, before the up.
Oh, right here. Gotcha.
So we get the green triangle, so it means pay attention.
Yeah.
Then we get the green triangles in the clouds. It means pay more attention.
Okay.
And you know more or less where it should go. So now you're trying to pick the bottom.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is to buy the first yellow zone after the last triangle.
Buy the first yellow zone after the last triangle.
Yeah, which one is that?
Right here?
No, that's the last yellow zone.
I guess right here. Actually, right down here.
Yeah. So that's actually where you could buy.
So wait, say that again. So you're buying the first yellow triangle after the last yellow? Or wait, say that again. I want to make sure I understand.
Now, what I do, because I trade bigger positions, remember we're talking about accumulation?
Yep.
So I will buy a little bit in this condition that I just said.
Okay.
I will buy some more at the up.
Okay.
And then I'll buy some, I have certain conditions that will trigger and they'll tell me raise your position or.
Got it.
You see?
Yeah.
But this is more complicated because you're like ledgering all the time.
No,
If you cannot control one trade, you should not do this.
No, this is good. This would be good to dig into it maybe in another session to get more advanced. But I mean, I get the general concept of what you're saying. Is that you're using these to basically to enter and to ladder up like your trades essentially.
I don't have to wait for the up.
Yeah.
Because it's unlikely because that's a confirmation.
Right. So you're quicker. You're getting in quicker before somebody else who's maybe waiting for the confirmation on the candle to go up. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the best thing about the clouds is that it gives you time to prepare.
Yeah.
So for instance, after this huge up, you knew for a fact that the price would correct.
Yeah.
The clouds told you, man, you can expect this much of correction. Of course, like any other indicator fails, but as you can see, it has been pretty precise.
So real quick, so now that makes sense. But now, what about when the red starts showing up? When red starts showing, how do you actually, what plan or strategy would you use for that? Like how would you actually approach it?
Like let's say I bought in, how I would handle it.
Yeah, I mean, so you bought in, right, because of the green clouds. You bought in.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing the red appear, right?
Yeah.
And like, how do you handle that?
It's hardly ever the red appears and then it dumps.
Okay.
So the clouds, they're meant to be, like to give you time to prepare.
Yeah. Okay.
But then when the clouds appear with the triangles, that's when I get jumpy.
Okay.
And like I said, personally, if I'm like anything above 20-30%, I will sell it. And
Sure.
No questions asked, honey.
Sure.
But let's say I'm a little more greedy.
Yeah.
You can wait for the next confirmation, the next down. Oh, can you do me a solid? Can you go to the settings?
Yeah. For Spectro?
Yeah.
Yep.
And turn on the direction change warnings.
Yeah.
That's important. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we just turn on these little gray warnings here. I maybe need to customize my settings, but you guys get the gist of it.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So the first warnings I would completely ignore because it's just it's just so close, and I would just wait for my stop loss. In case if I'm wrong, I would just wait for the stop loss. You see, beginners, they're gonna see this first warning, they're gonna be like, oh my god, should I sell?
Yeah.
Man, that's why you have your damn stop loss rule. Just follow it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have
That's the point of it. Yeah. Yep.
Like if it reaches this level, you sell. So why are you worrying?
Yeah.
Just forget it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're up. You can see after the up movement, if I want to be more conservative and yet greedy, I would sell on the first warning. The problem is that sometimes the warning, if they move the dumps too fast, the warning comes with the down.
Sure. Yeah.
So what I would do, like if I want to hold more, you see, I would say on the first warning. Can you see the first warning after the up movement?
Right up. I think it's like right up here.
No, those. Remember we were talking about the stop loss and stuff?
Are you talking about this one way up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one. So, but now let's analyze why it's a bad idea. Because even if you see where the warning appeared, and if where the like the triangles started to appear, let's say you can use the same strategy. The first yellow after the last red arrow. If you pay attention, you pretty much sold in a better price than if you waited for the confirmation.
Yeah. No, okay, so that's interesting. So you're saying, as a general rule of thumb, the first red you see after the first yellow. No? Okay, I just want to make sure I understand.
Not a general rule, because this is a very volatile move.
Got it. Okay.
It's good to use the indicators because they're going to give you time.
Yes. Okay.
See, the confirmations, theirs lower.
Yes. I mean, usually the way that's interesting, but you could also kind of cross-confirm this, and tell me if you ever do this. This is a pretty common way people do it. Like, do you ever cross-confirm using RSI and looking at the RSI weakening, maybe down here, you could use kind of the two indicators, your warning, you could use the red and yellow triangles, and you could use RSI tapering down, all to kind of confirm that the price is about to go down, right? I mean, okay.
And it's like only just one thing. Like you're using the trend analyzer, the background.
Yep.
You see there's an orange zone there.
Yep. Over here. Yep.
So, yeah, those orange zones are what we call special zones, where high volatility is found.
Okay.
So you see that every move that happens within the orange zones or after the orange zones, they're very volatile.
Yeah.
The problem about this indicator, this trend analyzer, it requires a lot of past data. So as you can see, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Like a lot. You need something with a lot of data.
Yeah.
So if you're using an asset that only has 100 bars, it's not gonna work. But there are several others.
How do I take off the Fibonacci just for now?
Auto pivots.
Let's see, where's that? At the bottom or the top?
No, right after X confirmations.
Oh, got it. Okay. Just for the sake, it'll make it easier to see for now.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So real quick, now that you've kind of explained some of the clouds a bit and how that works, I mean, look at over here what has happened, guys. So this is today, well, the last few days, let's say, last 2-3 days, or maybe the last week, let's say. And the price was falling, obviously. The clouds, and I was wondering, actually, I didn't know how to use them, but I was like, okay, the clouds are starting to show up. What's going on here? But this is basically Spectro saying that the price is going to go up, back up, likely to around 700, where we broke past last, areas of support back over here, maybe. And so, and I don't know if exactly that's what it's saying, but you can kind of gauge, when you're buying, that the price should bounce to somewhere in these levels.
Remember that technique? The first yellow after the last green?
Yep.
Check it out.
First yellow.
Can you measure that?
The first yellow after the first green?
No, the first yellow after the last green arrow.
Oh, after the last one right here.
Yeah. Is that a good entry point for you?
Let me see. Oh, yeah. So it was what? It was like 3 days, and we have a percentage of 26%.
No. Look where did the yellow happen.
Yep.
This is the bottom of the. Yeah, that would be a little up. Yeah. Upper.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it would be like what I do. You see, you're measuring the bottom. That's not accurate. I would measure either the average of the candle, or if you want to be pessimistic, the top. Don't do the optimistic.
So like up here, maybe.
Yeah, that would be
the conservative approach.
Conservative, because here's the thing. Sometimes the yellow appeared closer to the end because it's real-time data.
Yeah.
So
it's still almost 10%, 9-10% approximately, which is still great. I mean,
in a day.
So okay, wait. So say that again, because I think I misunderstood you last time. You're saying the first green candle after the yellow.
No. The first yellow part of the clouds after the last green arrow.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it would be somewhere between those two greens.
Right here. Yep. Okay, so just to make sure everybody sees that, it's really like right in between here, kind of.
No, would be the next one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me.
Yeah. It would be in this bar.
It's drawing kind of weird, but you get the point.
It would be this bar that you would start seeing the yellow.
Gotcha. Okay, that's actually that's a really good tip. Okay, so wow, I am so pissed that I didn't get in on this trade. I was trying to, but my funds weren't available. Literally down at 475, I was watching and I was like, this can't go down a whole lot further. I mean, maybe a little bit. But anyway, that's besides the point here.
Yeah. So you see, like there are several ways inside of Spectro.
Yeah.
To trade.
Lots of ways.
Spectro was made to be like a universal machine. So like literally whatever thing you trade or how you trade, you can change things around to make it work the way you want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Look, it took like 30 minutes to come up with very powerful strategies.
Yeah.
And those strategies were entirely made with visual.
Yeah. No, this is awesome. And I mean, we've barely even scratched the surface, guys. I mean, there are tons of different settings on here in ways that you can use what we're talking about. And we've literally only covered like maybe 3-4. Okay, maybe
like
even
one setting. We didn't change the triggers.
Yeah.
We didn't change the cloud.
Wow.
We didn't explore the pivots. Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to dig in, and maybe we may need to do this in another video because I think we've been on for a little while already, and I don't want to overwhelm people. But one thing I do want to cover in this for sure is around time frames, because time frames definitely screw people up in a lot of different ways, including myself. And it took me a while, and I'm still learning how to navigate between time frames. What is the ideal? And this may be a stupid question or a strange question, but what is the ideal time frame for which Spectre operates in? And I know you could change. My main question is this, okay? I'm looking in the settings and I'm looking at time frame, Spectre resolution. You have it set default to 1 day. You have time frame set to 1 day as well. So does that mean that I should be using the chart on a 1 day setting? Like, explain time frames to me a little bit in regards to Spectrum.
Yeah. So remember when you were talking about like the market changes and there are no good settings? That's exactly what you're asking. Like, what's the best?
No, I know. Okay, yeah, no, it's the wrong question, but
there are no best time frames.
Okay.
What dictates the time frame? It's the market.
Yes.
For instance, this is a very volatile move. So it doesn't matter if you're doing 1 hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes. You're gonna see like a nice move, but let's analyze an area that has a more of a sideways trend. There's one right there. Yeah. So we're on the daily one, right?
I'm on daily, yeah.
Let's go to 15 minutes.
So there's
this area.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna analyze on a 15-minute time frame. This is a day right now, but let's switch it to 15. Okay, let me back out a little. Let me get rid of some of this just to. Okay, whoops.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay, well, any sideways, like right here.
Yeah, right there. So can you zoom in there?
Yeah, okay, so this is a 15-minute time frame on a sideways market. You know, you don't know that it's about to drop, let's just say, and we're here, right?
Okay, so first thing you have to notice in this specific asset that you're going to see an area where the candles, they get choppy, you see? Like, all the way right?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. It's like, they look like points.
Yeah.
That means low volume.
Yep. Okay.
Means that nobody's buying, selling.
Yep.
So therefore, this is an asset that you have to worry about the size of your position.
Okay.
You see how much just by understanding the mechanics?
Yeah. No, yeah, it gives context to the market. Like, nobody's buying and selling, volume is low. So
that's the first thing they would tell me, like, do not use 15 minutes because...
Makes sense.
So another thing that you want to do is to measure the ranges.
Okay.
So get the best movement you can see that you think would be predictable.
What do you mean?
This one seems fine.
Yeah, this seems pretty.
This one seems like a double bottom. Yeah. So measure the percentage.
We got 3.78, almost 4%.
So it means that in the best case scenario, you would make 3.84% in a scenario that doesn't exist, where you buy at the very bottom in a very, so being conservative with, stop loss and stuff, you're talking about a 2% margin.
Yeah. Yep.
Considering commissions and stuff, and how the market is choppy and sideways, do you think that's a good idea?
No.
So what you want to do is to compress information.
Okay.
So in order to compress information, you have to go to bigger time frames. Because
that's a really good point. Yeah. Keep going. Sorry.
You have all the chops,
Yep.
Because all this time range is meaningless. So
yeah.
you want to compress it.
Yeah.
Therefore, you have to go to a higher time frame. Let's go to 30 minutes now.
Real quick, I mean, that's a really good way you put it, though. Compressing information. Because all this is information about people trading. And
it is what it is.
And if I break this, like one of these bars is a 15-minute. This is a 15-minute time frame, and I could break one bar down into a 1-minute time frame to look even closer,
that's what
right?
I'm talking about.
Yeah, and so all this is very, very choppy. To your point, very choppy. It's meaningless. We can't understand it because it's the information is fragmented a lot.
It's not that you don't understand it. It's more like, do you need this information?
Yeah. Okay.
So what this tells you that in this specific time frame, right? It gives you a lot of information that's unnecessary. It's gonna make your trading slower.
Yeah.
Less efficient. So.
Okay.
15. Let's look.
So
at,
let me go to 30 first.
Sure. I think 30 is not gonna be enough. Yeah, not. You see.
There's still.
All that. Wait. Before the big pump after the dump, you see there's still a sideways markets there.
Yep.
What we're going to try to do is to eliminate those markets. So what we need to do is to further compress.
Okay.
So let's go to 1 hour now. You see, it's starting to look better.
Oops, here it is. Yeah, yep. And then we'll compress it even more.
But then the ranges are still too, the ranges are small.
Yeah.
So, and I know now that even if I go to 4 hours, that's going to even make 4 hours smaller. That's just not enough. So I know that either I trade this, like a day, 4 hours not so bad. 4 hours not bad.
Okay, so you're like, I'm kind of getting to what you're getting to, but you explain it again, maybe in a different way, because I get the gist of what you're saying. So you're trying to make the sideways market. So like if you're going down into a 15-minute time frame, the sideways market is very big, right? Because you're looking at smaller time frames and information that's more kind of spread out in visual form. And then as you compress that, these are, I don't know what I'm getting at, but I'm trying to articulate, I guess, really.
You're trying to eliminate noise.
Yeah, okay, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Like it's the principle of information technology is that if the information didn't change, you don't have to keep broadcasting it.
Yeah.
I don't have to keep telling you, hey Dan, it's not raining. Hey Dan, it's not raining. Hey Dan, it's not raining.
Yeah.
You just say, hey Dan, it's not raining. And then I will call you maybe in 3 days, hey Dan, it's raining.
Yeah. No, but this even when you look at the 4-hour chart, it gives you a much better understanding of actually what's happening with this asset. I mean, you could see it a lot more clearly without all these ups and downs.
Those kind of patterns those are distribution and accumulation patterns. You see, there's like a big dump and then the price stops. It means that either someone is holding the market up or down.
Okay.
It's not like people say, now we're stopping. Nobody buys Bitcoin Cash, so that's why the price not.
Yeah.
But you have to analyze the volume for that. But like I said, you have to understand the mechanics.
Yeah.
If you don't understand the mechanics, what's the point of candles, Renko, Henki, Ashi, whatever?
Yeah. So okay. So the time frames, though, they don't necessarily matter with Spectra. So if I wanted to go down into an hour chart, I could certainly do that. And let me just take off real quick the warning. Yeah, because the warnings.
All the way to the top.
All the way to the top. There we go. Because when you get down into smaller time frames, it is harder to see. But you could essentially see the same things. I mean, on an hour chart, do you ever use Spectro to trade like on 15-minute charts? Like, I mean, is it?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Like if you're really a day trader, just.
It depends on the ranges. It depends what I'm trading.
Yeah.
Like if I need a range of 0.5%, like Forex.
Yeah.
Or like BitMax.
Yeah.
Then it's fine for me. But if I'm doing like longer normal positions, then it's not good for me at all.
For everybody out there, what's kind of your sweet spot? Like, or what would you recommend in terms of time? And I know it really depends on a lot of factors, but like for people that are just looking at, I mean, how do I even ask this the best way?
You have to measure the range, and you have to calculate the risk-reward ratio.
Okay.
And see if it's your trading system, and if you're okay with taking that risk.
Good answer. No, that's a really good answer because
there's no like, use daily with 15 degrees Celsius and 3 steps to the right, and it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I don't have that. Sorry.
So right now, looking at these indicators, I would just really quick off the top of my head. It looks like we're going down. It looks like you may have a shorting opportunity here. Not positive, right? But these indicators are starting to fire up.
So check it out. Leave it be. So you see how there are a lot of ups and downs in between this bigger uptrend?
Yep.
Okay, so if you followed those signals, you would make a lot less money because of the commissions, even though it's an uptrend.
Okay.
It would be profiting.
Yep.
How would you avoid that? I think that's a better question. How do you get better entry points? So what you could do is like the first buy, after the green.
Yep.
That could be useful, and then you hold, and you have a stop loss rule of any sort, like trading stop loss.
Yep.
So after the up, you just keep obeying your stop loss.
Yep.
Whatever. That's another way to trade.
It's a good idea.
What I like to do that is simpler, and now we're gonna see how, when you understand the mechanics, how things are better. How I would trade this asset before this big turn happened.
Yeah.
So the first thing you want to notice is that orange background.
Right here.
So that tells me, that down happens right there. So I would definitely short that down because it happened in the high volatility area.
Got it. Orange is high volatility. Yeah. There's a down indicator with a high volatility. Perfect opportunity to short. Got it.
Yeah, check it out. How many downs it filters.
Yeah.
It literally gives you one signal.
Yeah.
Like, no monkey business.
Yeah.
Normal business.
Yep.
So I would short that. You don't even have to see that's an amazing trade. You can measure it if you want, but it's a good trade. And,
sure.
And you can short Bitcoin Cash at BitMax, so you could actually execute this trade. And then how I would, get in again, because here's the thing. You have a high volatility alert. You have the clouds going on. You have the X confirmations going on. So pretty much what I would do, it's buy the next confirmation.
Yeah.
So I would pretty much getting the next up or down. I would be getting. You see, there's a bad trade before the good up. You see up and down really close to each other.
Right here.
Right there. Yeah.
Yep.
I would buy and sell. I would take my loss there, no problem.
Okay.
It's part of it. But I would keep buying because I don't want to lose the next movement.
Oh, so you're saying you'd buy kind of down here. You'd wait. You'd see that down right here. You'd sell likely, and then you'd probably try to get in down here again.
Rules of engagement.
Yep.
What's the rule? First rule. First yellow zone after the green arrow.
Yep.
The green triangle.
Which is right here.
I would have bought, 32% of my position there.
You would have bought.
And then I would have bought 32% more in the next up.
Okay.
But then I have a down. I would sell it right there. You see, my loss won't be so big because it's just with 1/3 of my position.
Yep. Interesting.
That's one way of trading it. And then in the next up, I will buy again.
Yeah.
32%. So now I have 66%, and I probably had like a 0.5% loss.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I want to.
0.5% loss on 33%, which means it's a 0.167 loss.
Mm-hmm. Which is
on your total position. So it's very easy for you to maintain your trade there without taking losses if you trade this way. So I would buy there, and then I would pretty much like do some sort of stop loss technique and stuff like that.
Okay.
Knowing myself, I would have probably sold in the very first down.
Right here.
Big movement.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Yeah, 10%.
Yeah, I would definitely probably sell. So, and then I wouldn't probably get in the next up to be there with them because that's not the way I trade. But if you bought it, how would you maintain it? So because you're trading with the trend, that's another way, but that's not my system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I like to trade bigger movements and faster movements.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
When you trade trends, it requires, like you have to keep staring, adjusting. I don't like that. I'm lazy. So what you need to do is to eliminate the signals. What do we want? We use a smaller time frame for precision because things happen faster. You can see, it's like looking through a microscope.
Yep.
But what you're trading is the bigger movement, right? So can you go to settings?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Can you turn on the Spectro oscillator?
Yep.
Okay. And now you see under the Spectro oscillator, use current time frame.
Yep. I see that. Turn that off.
So, yeah, you're gonna not that one.
Oh, okay.
No. The one on Spectro oscillator.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's take a look at the graph. So you see, this is the daily signal. Look, it's a bearish day.
Yeah.
So I would never trade a smaller trend in such a bad day.
Yes, makes sense.
That's the first rule that, I would trade the reversal because I know it's fast and,
okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to.
I wouldn't trade the trend in a downtrend.
Right. On a. Yeah, I'm trying to understand. So it's a very bearish market. So you'd want to not likely trade on an hour chart. You'd likely want to zoom back to like a day chart. Is that what you're saying, more or less?
Yeah, maybe. But then that's the way I trade. Let's think as the beginner that probably wants, he thinks at 4 hours a lot. So let's go back to 1 hour.
Okay.
So we know it's a bearish day, but we still have faith for some reason that, you got in already. So let's say you bought at that up that we were studying. So I want to know if the always like if the stronger trend above me, if it's also reversing. So let's go back to the settings. We know it's a bearish day.
Yep.
So now let's check the other hours. Can you click on the spectral resolution? Let's do 3 hours.
3 hours.
There you go. It's not really good. So what I would do there, since you're moderate. Another thing, since you're trading trend and you're in already, you don't want to have a very aggressive triggering. You want to maintain your trend because you're in the trend now.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So what I would do is to change my settings from moderate to conservative.
On the right
the
here.
Spectro indicator. All the way, the first option.
Okay.
Because remember, right in the beginning, we were discussing about trading trends and scalping.
Yep.
Yeah, I would put now the conservative filter at 10. Did it load? Yeah. You see, now you're starting to get better signals.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't even really got into any of those indicators yet, and I want to. Just trying to see.
But you see, once you understand the context, you see how easy. Look how the signals are good now. So look after the green trend. You want to trade the trend. You would buy at the first up and then sell at the first down.
Yep.
Let me look.
Let me zoom up real quick.
You have two entry points on the green area.
Right here?
No, on the uptrend, all the way to the right. Yeah, you have two. No, in the green background.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I was okay. Right here where it's turning green.
Uptrend.
Yep.
So you see, the first one would be a break-even one.
Yep.
But then the second one, not so bad.
Yep.
So that's how you would trade it in this other type of,
That's interesting. I need to look at this a little bit more. I haven't actually used this yet, but that's really interesting. So you can use so many different strategies and techniques, and it's like you've given so many strategies just in this video that I want to just write down, because a lot of them, I mean, you can literally use this in so many different ways, and there's no cookie cutter push button. And I totally understand what you're saying now. And hopefully people understand that out there, because you can adjust the settings based on your trading style, based on what's happening in the market, to give you that edge over what maybe other traders are not seeing who don't have something like this. I mean, I love this. This is really, really cool.
Can I share my screen like really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So, share.
Hold up. Let me make this bigger real quick.
Yeah, no worries. Let me know when you have it.
Yep, I got it up.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yep, we see it clearly.
That's another way to trade.
Wait. Do what you did again?
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is Bitcoin.
Yep.
So this is a completely different perspective of the market.
Wow.
So
I'm trying to make sense of it. Yeah, this is crazy.
And this is the way I use for automation. Why? Because you don't have candlesticks.
Yeah.
And my current algorithm doesn't take into consideration the wicks candle ratio.
Gotcha.
So there's no reason for me to see them. Because
gotcha.
I need to think as my computer thinks.
Right.
And that's what my computer is seeing. So you see how I'm changing completely my perspective because of the context of the trade.
Yes. Yeah.
Why? Because I need strong and clear signals, right? So let's analyze the last one, because this one just started, right? As you can see, the up was here, and the last trade we're up 4%, and this is automated, right?
Yeah.
So my last percentage, I'm up like 4% or something. So one before that, wow, that was a good one. So would be around here, 28% in 15 days.
Nice.
You see, because you see how the oscillator here, it has a very different behavior from yours. You see, it moves a lot less. It's a lot more, stable and stuff.
Yeah.
Sharing my settings, so you can see I'm in aggressive mode.
Yeah.
But I'm using a daily resolution on a 6 hours graph. Why? Because here I'm looking at the daily trend, but with a microscope.
Yep.
So I can get the warnings faster. So I can get the clouds faster. It doesn't really matter because it's the computer running on daily.
Sure.
But I like to see it before the computer sees it, just in case something.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And you're teaching it. You're basically designing it to do.
Yeah, but then it's all about perspective and like the context. You see, since I'm automating, I'm trying to keep it simple.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
I don't need a lot of information. So I cannot use such things as like after the green arrow. You see, we're talking about that the green arrow thing. Look, here it would be a bad signal.
Yeah.
Here it would be a bad signal. Here would be a good signal. But you see, it's 1 out of 2. So you gotta understand the concept of what you're doing. Like I'm trying to trade reversals in a trend, in a strong trend settings. I don't think that's gonna be good. And as you can see, it isn't, because it's out of context. So it's all about understanding what you're doing. And another thing is like analyzing if it's worth it. For instance, you get this up here, so it's an entry point, and you have a Fibonacci level here.
Yeah.
That's a Fibonacci level here.
Yeah.
And it's closer to the bottom than it is to the top. So it means that the down risk is bigger than the up risk.
Right.
So it instantly tells you that it's it's more than 50-50 risk reward.
Gotcha.
Also, if it breaks the next support, we're talking about 6.6, and that's 6%, I think. Yeah, that's 6%.
Measure it.
Yeah. So we're talking about a new move. Why new move? Because it just breached this support line. And what is the next resistance? This one.
Yeah.
So I know that now, if you think about it, I'm really close to the support, which means that is it going to be a support or resistance? Maybe a support because the trend is telling me that it's the first green one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So according to the technicals, it's a support because it's an uptrend. Right? And my trade is all the way up here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's good because the downtrend is minimal.
Yeah.
And the uptrend is big.
Yeah.
But you have to also pay attention if this is gonna fail, because if it fails, this is gonna act as a support, as a resistance.
Yeah.
And then, so that's why manually I bought in here, but I sold it here. My computer didn't sell it yet, but I did. Like I
sure.
Said, I saw like 3% up. Like I'm good. Like,
man, this is crazy. This is impressive. Now I just want to play with Spectre and now I just want to trade, because now you've given so much info about how to better use it. I want to let me see let me do a time check here. We're at about an hour and a half.
Oh wow. Always.
Some of this will cut out just because we'll make it a little bit shorter, but this is awesome. I want to keep going, but I feel like we should maybe take what we have, because I need to digest it. I need to kind of wrap my head around it all and watch this video a few times, because there's just honestly, what I want to do is I want to write down like the actual strategies we talked about and give that to people as just kind of directionally, like how they should use this.
You're doing exactly what I told you to not do. You're gonna try to.
No.
You're gonna try to write down.
No, I know.
That it's meant to be dynamic. You're gonna turn into static.
No. But what it'll do is it will internalize it for me and actually help me to understand the concept a lot better. You know what I mean? By actually like making sure I understand it, so that I can adapt it to whatever. I see what you're saying though, and I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to use it statically like that.
Like we always try to think the easy way. Like our brains want to. Like,
no, I know.
You have to overcome this. I have to figure out the formula. It's not like it is a formula, but it's dynamic.
Well, like small things, like what you said, like the first candle after the yellow triangle, the first green candle after the yellow triangle, like things like that. I'm gonna forget.
That's like the entry.
No, I know.
The entry is condition. You have to analyze the condition. There are like a lot of analysis before.
Yeah.
I actually get to the point where the green candle matters.
Yeah. No, I know. I just need to use. Now I want to just
forgot the other hour.
Yeah. Woo! You just blew my head. There's just a lot of info that I need to digest and think about. But this has been awesome. I mean, this has been really, really helpful. And I think to people out there that haven't seen Spectro, this was an awesome introduction, I think, on how to get the very core basics, like barely even scratching the surface, but very tangible ways of how you can use Spectro to make money in the markets, to enter, to exit, to know what's going on up and down. And I think it's going to give a lot of people a leg up, that it's just a lot of insight there. So awesome job. I mean,
it's what I've been, the worst, I've been releasing a lot of new stuff and I've seen all this, it's amazing. And I haven't traded with it yet. So there are a lot of new features that I haven't yet explored fully.
Yeah.
I am excited because there are new strategies for me to find, and I can't, because I've been coding and running business.
You know what's crazy? This makes me think of like Adobe Photoshop. Like the creators of Photoshop, they made so many features on the tool that I've actually read that they didn't even know how to actually use everything because it was so dynamic. And Spectro is kind of going in that direction where the toolkit is there and it's so dynamic that you could use it. You could paint whatever you want. Like, it's crazy.
Every time that I beta test, what I like most is that every so often a guy comes to me like, hey, check it out. And I was like, man, I never thought about this before.
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
It's good. It's good.
It's almost like you could have little trading view strategy cards built. Never mind, I'm going off on a tangent, but you could like create a marketplace of these little strategies that can be used.
That was my idea, because every single thing that there is right now on the market, indicator-wise, comes from an old school.
Sure.
Like hardcore traders really into math and, plotting and this.
Yeah.
They were not really user oriented.
Yeah.
They forgot they are really good.
Yeah.
And, but that was like from traders for traders.
Yeah.
So, I don't care the normal guy.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is to change the whole system.
Yeah.
I'm offering indicators in a way that you can understand simpler.
Yep.
So you don't spend so much time looking at the line.
Yep.
And you actually understand the mechanics. Because that's what makes all the difference.
It's almost like you're giving the tools to let somebody build a house however they want to build a house. I mean, however you want to build the house, you can.
Let's say you're using like a machete, you know, to cut your trees, and I just gave you a chainsaw.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, but you still have to know where the trees are.
Yeah, exactly. And you need to know what kind of house you want to build. You need to be like kind of an architect and know what you want to actually do.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. Well, on that note, let's kill it there, because I think we've given a lot of people a lot of value out there, and I think that people are gonna love this. I definitely want you back again on another session, because like honestly for personal reasons, because it's making me a much better trader, I think, in a lot of ways. And so if I'm becoming a better trader, my audience hopefully is becoming better traders. And so we'd love to have you back. But this has been really awesome. If you guys haven't checked out Spectro, click on the link in the show notes. You could go to cryptocamacho.com/Spectro, or you can go to hypester.org. You'll get to the same place. What is it now? It's $49 a month? Or is it 30? What's the price now? $49 a month for that tool. Man, if you haven't used it, check it out. $50, guys, $49, and you'll make that back in, a trade.
The hardest thing for me was to pricify this.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea how to charge, because like, man, with one trade sometimes they make like so much money that $50.
It's nothing.
And that's why like it also tells me like who's gonna succeed and fail, because if it tells me like, hey, $50 a lot, I know this guy buys $50 in Amazon with
exactly,
or beer.
Yeah.
But $50, for like this one specific tool is,
it's nothing.
It's like a guy that is traveling to Spain, and then he spends 5 hours looking for the cheapest hotel.
Exactly.
He could just pay $10 more and get the best hotel and spend 4 hours in Spain.
Exactly. It's crazy. It's It's $49 a month, and in 1 month, if you made one trade that makes you $100, you've doubled your money, right? So I don't know if you double. You know what I mean? That's crazy. But okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
But it's hard, because I kind of want to raise the price, but I was like, no. I also promised myself that I want to make this affordable. So
Get in now while you can, because I can see him raising the price. I know he says he doesn't want to. He won't. But these things typically happen. I'm joking with you. I don't know if you will, but $49 is a steal. It's a steal. So thank you, Rod. Thanks for coming on again. Thanks for all the valuable information here. Guys, we'll do some more sessions here, but please leave feedback in the comments, and it'll only make us better. Let us know what you want to learn about the tool. Let us know if you are using the tool, if there's anything wrong with it, if there's strategies you're coming up with, if you don't understand something, let us know, because we're here to help. That's why Rod's coming on here, to educate people, to let you guys understand how this tool works and what it is and how it can give you an advantage over everybody else. So guys, I'm Dan from CryptoCamacho.com. This is Rod Spector from Hypester.org, the creator of Spectro Indicator. My mind's blown. We'll leave it at that, guys, and we'll talk next time, Rod. Any last words for the folks out there? All right, see you guys.